Hey everyone, I'm Charlotte and welcome back to Unstriped, a 10-day series where we talk about how I got to where I am in my art journey right now. So, in the previous video yesterday, I showed a bunch of animation that I did over the course of the years. In case you didn't watch the video, I would urge you to watch it because it's fun, and two, because it's extremely clumsy and embarrassment is the cost of entry to sharpen your skill set or something like that. That's what I read. But anyways, it's honestly though, it's for the plot, and so go watch the video, guys. Thank you. But anyways, I think in that video I couldn't really talk about the process of experimenting outside my niche, which is digital art right now. So I wanted to take this time to discuss that in this video and kind of continue that video through the course of this, right? So on screen though is a piece that I did last year, and this was the time when my art style in itself was coming together. So these are the initial few pieces where everything truly was coming together, and you can see a sense of style from this being carried on in all of my recent videos and in all of the pieces that I do at the moment, right? So coming back to the topic itself. So in the previous video, we saw how I animated stuff. Yes, I went through an animation phase as well. The truth of the matter is, to this day, there's a bit of motion graphics that goes about, but there's no form of full-scale animation that I do because of the lack of time, obviously. And also because it exhausts me sometimes. I'm not very good at things which take too long to do, to be fully honest. But the reason for showing the previous clips and the previous things of animation is to come to an important point that I learned through the course of the art journey. That is the fact that things that you learn and that you put into your creative work aren't just things that you learn in your niche or within your niche. That is, for example, digital art. Things that you learn while you create pieces of digital art isn't the only thing that you learn. But rather, it goes beyond that into whatever you learn from life itself, right? Is also integral to how the result of your creative work comes out. And in a sense, all of the previous animations that you saw, not just animation, there were a bunch of things that I tried at that point. 3D modeling via Blender and other things, creating a comic series via this app called Animaker and things like that. Although they were completely different from the original plan for the story of a novel and the story of a comic series, it helped to narrow down what I wanted to do versus what I didn't want to do. And there's a lot of learning and a deep appreciation for those that really take the time to do frame by frame animation, to animate things, to be intentional about the little details. Those are things that you might not appreciate if you haven't done it for yourself, unless you're extremely empathetic, which I am not by nature. So in that sense, putting myself in the shoes of animating quite literally by myself on my phone in the beginning and then moving to my tab, you see that animation isn't just about the movement of things. It isn't just about one frame to another. There's a lot of things that you consider, like the intensity of the animation, the speed of the animation, how precise it needs to be in order to convey the story that you have in your head. Those are things which are extremely difficult to implement, and I don't plan to do that either at the present moment, but you learn those things, and in a sense you implement those things within your niche, where in a drawing it doesn't become just what you want to draw and what is in your mind, but you're thinking about, oh, could this expression be a little bit better? Could a different angle of this portray this vision in my head a bit better and tell a better story? And so you're intentional about these things because you learn something from outside your niche. So even though I was really bad at animation, and I still am, it helped me to realize that there's so much more that you learn. There's so much more that you take away from just trying out a different skill and understanding how that skill works and implementing that to your own skill and just learning. So in that sense, it was a beautiful process. And now, even though it's not a very refined skill set, there is a part of me where I use just my static artwork to animate different parts and then add like a small quote so that there's a little bit of motion and there's more to a visual story, right? So it's intriguing in that way to the audience, and it helps in the process of storytelling. So yeah, that is what I wanted to mention in the previous video. I think I did talk a little about how it has evolved right now, but this is a full breakdown of that. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you saw how my style first came into form through this video visually as well. I will see you guys in the next one. You can find me at Charlotte_Burka.